YouTube channel. So today I decided to do a more relaxing, kind of laid back video because I thought to myself, I have not been very present for the past month or so. Let me check. Yeah, something like that. During the winter, essentially. This winter, I have not been as present as I wanted to be. And I did not have a lot of time to kind of think about video ideas. So here I am, making an ASMR video. Because why not? I think you enjoy it. You seem to enjoy it. Let's see. Last time that I made an ASMR video, it was 9 months ago. Wow. And the first one I've ever made was my first ever video on YouTube. I don't know. Well, I consider it ASMR. I don't know. I don't care. And then after that, I made it 1 year ago. I'm looking through my channel right now. Very sweet. I'm just so happy. Like, I don't know. When I think about it, I'm always like, oh gosh, like, am I doing something wrong? Am I not like a good creator? Am I not good enough for YouTube or whatever? But every time that I watch through my channel, I'm like, this is so sweet. Like, this sweet little girl making videos. And like, I look at my older videos and I'm like, I was so young. My life was so different. I had long hair. And I'm like, I changed so much. I have this video that's called TikTok Wasted My Life. Oh my gosh, my hair is long. Who is that girl? I don't know. But, yeah. Oh my gosh. My channel has grown so much. This is very cute. I like watching through, things that I've done, what happened, and I'm like, oh, this is so cute. This is so cute. I don't know, I love it. But yeah. So, for the past, 2 months approximately, I've been a little bit absent. Here's the story time. I lost my job. I lost my job in December, and after that, I was kind of scrambling for pieces. And I was like, what do I do? I felt very burned out. I just thought this would be super cool. It's a hen. Hold up, where are you going? Oh, okay, whatever. Okay. So, I just felt kind of lost, and I was kind of scrambling for a job, and then whatever happened. The world felt very imposing, and I felt very overwhelmed by everything that was happening. In case you have missed it, we have a circus of Canadian elections and tariffs and political tension and whatnot. So I just felt kind of overwhelmed, and I was also having big realizations about myself, my past, my life, etc., etc., etc. And I was going through a very weird phase where I was questioning everything, and that was kind of scary, because if there's something to be known about me, is that I seem to kind of always have this inner guidance, and I'm like, I can rely on that because I know what I want, I know where I'm going, and I'm okay. But in that moment, it didn't feel that way at all. And it was very, I guess, scary, yeah. Questioning everything. And I was wondering what was true, what was real, etc. No, I'm fine. I'm was doing so much better, so I came back. But for a while, I was just kind of a mess, and I was like, no, I have to be a mess right now. Like, this is important. Because without this phase, I would not come out on the other side. That's why it's important. And apart from that, published my poetry book. I started making jewelry. And I've not been very productive this winter because I was going through a big phase of like emotional things, and I went back to therapy and things like that, and I was like, yes, right now I just need to chill. But now I feel better, and I feel capable of coming back and doing what I want to do here. So I don't know, I'm just like, I'm grateful in a way, but I'm also kind of sad because I don't like not being creative for long periods of time. So I don't know. But I'm gonna tell you what happened in the meantime. So in the meantime, I made a decision that I really enjoy making things with my hands. And I believe that ultimately I'm gonna go down that path. I'm also probably going back to school for a while, just to give myself a plan B in case of my other things not working out. I have been through a very dark period where everything felt very hard, and I was kind of losing myself, like I mentioned earlier. But it made me realize that I had so much, how do I say this? I had so much internalized ideas that were not mine, and I had to cleanse that away from me. But I couldn't do that if I was not, facing them actively. So there's that. And then, well, after that, I tried to pick up after myself a lot, and I applied for other jobs and whatever, but none of them really stick. So I was like, okay, we'll see where this goes, but for now, we're just kind of figuring it out. And that's pretty much it. I have another one. That looks so bad. This is so cute. It just stays on my desk. Technically it's not mine. It's my partner's. But here it is now. Yeah. So, in the meantime, I've collected a bunch of information about myself and what I wanted and how I wanted to move forward. And I realized how these preconceived ideas that were kind of constructed in my brain affected my creativity, or the way that I saw my success, or the things that I wanted to do, or the things that I wanted to express, and things like that. So now I have a much better vision of how I want to do things moving forward, and I kept thinking about it and saying, things are going to change. I felt that, but I didn't know how. I was like, how are things going to change? I don't know, but I know they're going to change. Now I know. Now I have a better picture. And in the meantime, when I was kind of away, I've been doing other random projects. Of course, I've been thrifting a lot. I love thrifting. This is thrifted. This is my coat. first loves, because when I was a kid, I was not very verbal. That's the autism for you, baby. That's the autism. I was not a very verbal kid, so I just wrote a lot, and I fell back in love with it, and like writing and reading. So I am showing you my 2 books that I read most recently. There's another one missing. I am not done with it yet, but it's very good. It's called, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like a comedy. It's like a comedy about vampires. I don't know, it's funny. It's kind of a very peculiar kind of idea to write a book about, but that's what I think is very cool about it. I like how original it is and how sassy it is. I love sassy. Sass moment. That's my sassy jacket, if you will. So, here's the first one. I thrifted it. I know, I swear. But I know this might not be everyone's cup of tea. How else to say it? I don't know, but I find it very interesting. So, this book, it's about, how do I say, it's about the power of now without saying it's the power of now, because that's the title. I don't know. It's about being present and disconnecting from your mind a little bit, which is really appropriate for what I was going through during this winter. I was very much in my mind, and I kind of lost plot. I was lost in the sauce. So, I don't know how to flip pages without taking too much space. I'm not entirely done with it yet. But overall, I find it interesting. And it definitely helped for me to remind myself I don't have to stress about everything all the time. And it kind of inspired my recent yap about anxiety, because I was having a lot of anxiety. Like, it was not even funny. Oh my god, wait, it's stuck. Okay. The covering sleeve is very cute, but oh my god, I just love when a book doesn't have like the protecting sleeve. I find it just so beautiful. It's so pretty. It's a very nice shade of blue. So, something interesting about this for me is just how the whole idea of being present is sort of talked about. It feels very accessible. Recently I was reading this book. It was about Taoism, essentially, and although I think that a lot of it was interesting, sometimes I was just like, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? But side, I feel like this was very accessible, and I tend to read, especially like at night. So sometimes you don't want to read something that is very heavy for your mind to process or to comprehend, because you get kind of lost. But I didn't feel that way when I read this. It feels very accessible. It feels very digestible. And although I am an advocate for not making art more digestible at any cost, because I think that sometimes it's okay for a book, for a piece of whatever it is, to be more complicated or hard to grasp, something that you have to read time and time and time again. It still feels good when you can understand it. So that was one of my recent reads. I'm not entirely done with it yet, but very interesting. The other one. Sorry. Oh my gosh. I literally finished it yesterday. This part of the video will contain spoilers, because now I'm going to tell you about it. Oh my gosh. So, I love Hunger Games. I love it. There's a rebel side of me that is a certified hater, and I'm like, the Hunger Games scratched that rebellious itch inside of me since I was very young. And yeah, I like to think that the books are very, very good. They're very interesting. There's a lot of metaphors, and the way that the universe is built is very intricate. I like that about Susan Collins. I love an author who clearly is just as passionate about their work as the readers are. And oh my gosh, where to start? So, Sunrise on the Reaping is about the character Haymitch, which is the mentor of like the main character in the main trilogy of Hunger Games, Katniss, Miss Everdeen. And Haymitch, when it comes to the original trilogy, he helps her throughout the rebellion and everything. And you see kind of a broken man, like he struggles with substance abuse, and he's maybe a little bit bitter, a little bit sarcastic. And we know that he's a victor from past Hunger Games. This book is about him and his Hunger Games and what happened. So, what we know about Haymitch now is that he's this boy from District 12, from the Seam. His father died in a mining accident, so it's just him and his mama and his little brother. And he has his friends and his girlfriend, and his life is pretty cool, pretty nice. It's pretty charming. So, what happens is, well, the reaping happens, and we learn that his birthday is the same day of the reaping, which is book canon 4th of July. The symbolism, anyways, so, yeah, it's the reaping, and they're picking out kids to go into the Hunger Games. And there's this kid who gets picked, and instead of going, he just runs. And then, of course, like, he gets executed for running away, and there's a whole scene happening because his mom is fighting back and whatever. And the problem is that his girlfriend, Haymitch's girlfriend, is also fighting against the peacekeepers, the guards, and she's helping the mom. And now he gets concerned. He's like, oh no, I don't want them to hurt my girlfriend. So he steps in, and then they take him to go to the Hunger Games. So the narration was very good. The pace of the story was good. We have a lot of the characters that we get to meet later with Katniss are there. They're very interesting to see outside of Katniss's perspective, because she's not a very reliable narrator. And if you've seen the movie, you've seen the characters as well. There's Mags, Wyrus, Beatty, Plutarch. I love a double agent. Snow, obviously. There's Katniss's dad and mom from when they're young. Peeta's father. Anyways, Madge's family, like a bunch of people. And I'm like, oh my god, that's my team. Like, girl, okay. But I just thought it was very interesting. So essentially, at the end, of course, Haymitch wins. But there's a lot of terrible deaths, and we see that he was kind of always a rebel at heart, and that actually the Hunger Games, there's been people that were rebelling against it for super long, because this happens during the 50th, and then Katniss starts a revolution around 74, 75, so that's like 25 years ago. And I thought that was very interesting. So in the end, a lot of people die because Hunger Games, hello. And I think the death, like, what hurt me the most was Ampert, because he's Biddy's kid, and I was like, and I kind of had a mental breakdown about that. Like, when I read he was like, oh, go see my dad, and I was like, what is he talking about? And then when it was like, oh, it's Beatty, I was like, I was freaking out. I definitely cried when Luella died. Although I felt sympathy for Lulu, like, I didn't feel really sad when she died. I was like, oh, like, she's a poor little kid, but it was kind of written in the sky, and I was like, yeah, she's not gonna make it. What I was really surprised to see is Wyatt. He died like that. I was like, what? I was, what? Like, what? I was really sad. And the way that he says it, oh, let me look. Oh, that's gonna be page sounds, okay. Let me see. Wyatt. I just liked him so much. I don't know. And it may be because he's kind of autism coded. I was like, hell yeah. I see your brother right here. But yeah, I was like, oh no, my baby, my poor sweet little child. He's probably bigger, stronger than me, but he's still baby, okay? Okay, let's see. I want to read you the exact part. So now he's listing off the people that are like, they passed away in the cornucopia. I don't know how to say that word, but in the main fight. He's listing them off, and then he says, Tile, the boy from 11, the pinky on my left hand remains lifted. One tribute left. Is it another kid from 11 or one of my own? Wyatt Gallo, whose luck just ran out. I was freaking out because I love him. And I was just like so sad. What else? Maisie Lee, I knew that she would obviously pass away, but I didn't know how, and I was very nervous about it. I was like, how is she gonna pass away? And she did in a way that was not too bad. So I felt sad for her because she was very iconic. What a mother diva. I was like, oh my god, I love her. But I was expected, so I was like, it's sad, but I'm glad that she died in a way that felt not too bad. And then it was the little girl, like the little kid, the last little kid that was like stuck in a tree. What's her name? Welly, something like that. My reaction when I read how Welly died. What? I was just so, I don't know. But girl, man, don't even care. I don't even care. Whatever this other girl had as an excuse, she literally beheaded that little kid. And I was like, how barbaric. Like, ugh. And then she's like, I was defending myself. And I'm like, what's her name? Is it Silka? It wasn't Silka. Anyways, girl, don't play with me right now. Don't even play with me right now. Like, genuinely, shut up. So then at the end, A-Mitch wins because he knows how to make stuff happen. No, but seriously, there's a force field around the arena, and she throws her weapon, and it hits the force field, and it gets back onto her. So he wins. But before he wins, he explodes everything. That's what I like the most about this specific Hunger Games book. The explosions. I was like, yes. Like, essentially Haymitch is part of the rebel plan, and he's on it with another dude. It's an Amber, the little dude, little Beatty's child. And so he explodes one of the water tanks in the game, and then he explodes kind of the force field around. He's just like, I don't care anymore. I'll just explode whatever I want. And he does. And at the end of the book, he survives, and he's kind of set aside for a while because he's healing, but also kind of being put on guard. Sorry. Being put on guard. And I think he's being watched by President Snow. I can't believe that you thirsty people went to see the movie with Tom Blyth and thought he was hot. Listen, you don't think that President Snow is hot. You think that Tom is hot. Just say that. Please. Anyways, I think that pissed off Susan Collins because she said no. And even in this book, Snow says his amazing catchphrase, which he just goes, we have a catchphrase. He says that to Haymitch, Snow lands on top. And I was like, I'm having flashbacks. Yeah, so moral of the story, guys, stop pissing off Susan Collins because she had a lot of things to say. The book opens, and if you don't know what it's about yet, if you want to try and misinterpret what she has to say, she puts 4 different quotes all about propaganda. And I'm like, Susan, okay. And then in this book, we get to see how heavily edited things are and how the media of Panam is very controlled and whatever. So whatever Haymitch does to kind of rebel, he's like, everyone's gonna see, no one sees. Well, that's very sad. Very good book, though. I love it. And at the end, of course, what causes Haymitch to become the person that he is? He loses everything because Snow doesn't like what he did and how he made him seem like a fool a little bit. So essentially, things that Haymitch did, he got reaped into the Hunger Games accidentally. Then he was part of this big alliance, and then he blew up the tank. He blew up another bomb essentially, and then he played with the force field. He played with the rules. He was part of the rebel plan, and during the chariot where the victors were coming to President Snow's mansion or whatever, one of the little girls from District 12 falls, and she dies because nothing was handled properly at the parade. So he literally carries her to Snow's mansion and lays her down in front of him and starts applauding. He's making fun of all of this system and everything. But then at the end, it costs everything. It costs everything. And that's something that we see also with BD, Mags, Virus, etc., And now I think that it gives a lot of meaning to when Joanna in like the second book of the trilogy of with Katniss when she says, you can't take anything from me, you've already taken everyone that I love. And I was like, Joanna, what do you have to confess? It's on the back of the sleeve. When you've been set up to lose everything you love, what is there left to fight for? I don't know. I just thought it was really good. So that's pretty much it. I really liked it. And I liked the characters. And I liked everything. So that was a good book. And apart from that, that's pretty much it. I think I've been kind of chilling. I've been kind of enjoying all of this. And I was like, hell yeah. This is fun. And I was having a good moment. So now I'm back and I'm like feeling better. But during my time after my mental breakdown, I just took time to relax. And I think this is my last anecdote before I go, because there's kids starting to play outside, which is fine, but it's not very relaxing now, is it? Part of my relaxing girl era, I was like, oh my god, yes, I should just take it easy. I should chill. My boyfriend always says that. He's like, you should chill. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I should. But me and my friend, we went to a spa. And I thought I would be so chill. You guys, I was like, I'm gonna be so chill. I'm gonna be so chill. I was delusional. I was severely delusional. And so I went to this spa and it was really cute, but it just showed how ADHD I was. I could not stand still. I felt relaxed, but I also felt terribly bored out of my life, out of my mind. I was like, help me, because I'm not doing great right now. I'm so sick of this, because we had to be silent during the whole treatment, which lasted 2 hours. So it was like with thermal baths and everything, and it was cute. But I was like, 2 hours of silence. It was too hard. Your girl did not survive. She did not survive, and she was very fidgety, and I was kind of a baby. I'm kind of a baby sometimes. Like, we were in this big thermal pool, and I was like, I kind of wanted to flip in the water. But anyways, it was still great. But I was not used to resting before. I always felt like I had to do everything all the time, and I have to be busy. So forcing myself to slow down for a while, I was like, what is this life? What am I doing? Like, what's going on? But it was very helpful. So now I'm feeling better. I'm feeling great. And things are just setting back in order. So thank you for being patient with me and for still being there. I really appreciate all of the help and the support that I get, and all the kindness of the people that comment and everything. I see all the messages that people send me as well. So thank you. And I want to say also that it's very touching to see how much happened on this channel and everything. I'm just like, I love it. It's cute. And how much is gonna happen as well, because lots of things are always happening. I don't know how to say this, but I can see how confident I'm becoming into my voice and everything, and I'm like, how exciting. How very exciting. So yeah, on that note, I'm gonna have to go, but again, I want to say thank you to everyone, and thank you for being here, and thank you for generally being my online friends, my miracles. And I'm happy that I can help you, but know that you help me so much in return, and it means a lot to me. So yeah, and that was my ASMR ramble video that kind of turned into a random yap about Sunrise on the Reaping. I don't know, thoughts, comments, feelings. Anyone read it? How do you feel? I can tell you that at the end of the book, I cried. I really cried. It's the epilogue, like, that made me lose it. I I was emotional. I was like, dang, like it hurts. The epilogue made me cry. The end of it, where he tells, he talks about his girlfriend and everything. I was like, just because I'm a hopeless romantic, so you know that it's gonna catch me, okay? It comes, it does something to my feelings, okay? So that's it. I'll see you guys very soon.